Hey fellas, so look what my got, right? As my daughter used to say when she was a kid, Daddy, look what my got. So this is very similar to a unit I sold a bunch of years ago that I found at the dump. The one I found was a nice Sears with the reverse and a shifter and the multiple speeds. I am so sorry I got rid of that one, but this is a nice machine. They're listing it as a 5 horsepower, 3600 RPM. It's got the magnetron in it, right? So this is, I don't know what the date is, we'll get in deeper, but the one I had, it was at the dump, the motor was dead, there was another motor laying next to it. I made one motor out of the two, and the model I had points. So when they started coming out with the magnetron was about 74. Okay, so in 74 they said, well, all right, we'll call it the magnetron, we'll put it all into the ignition module, we'll change the motor a little bit. And they started advertising because it didn't have any points in it. So we'll get in closer in a minute. But this was a really nice machine made by MTD. They call it a Servi-Star. We have everything on it. This was in basically garage kept, but I can tell you there's some issues with the tines, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. The fuel smells like gack. Now, I'm not going to restore it today. I'm not going to work on it really today, but we are going to tinker with it and clean it and then lubricate the hell out of a bunch of places, and then I can put it away for the year. So that's my goal, right, for today. So I got this for free, and which is kind of cool, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well on the live stream. And I sent my buddy Juan over, and it threw him some money to pick this thing up. And I think this person, very nice couple, I think they may be interested in the one I just finished, which let's go get a sneak peek at that in a minute. Let's get in closer and take a nice look at it. Nice, good, close look.
Oh boy! Oh my God!
Oh God! Oh, it's blocking out the sun! I believe this was stored inside, and the pictures I saw, and Juan will tell you, there's a smaller garage, you know, detached garage on the property, nice property on a dead end, you know, out of the way. And I think the woman is actually British, and I think she married an American. And I had talked with them a little bit about fixing some of the stuff that they have, and I gave them some prices, and I was, you know, pretty detailed and a good response. And she said, well, because you were so honest and, you know, fast forward and immediate, you know, why don't you just take it? You can have it. I'm like, what? So out of the kindness, and I think I have a deal for them, because from, you know, we'll talk about this in the live, but from a conversation I had with Juan and Juan had with them, yeah, I might have another one. So I think the first thing we'll do is we'll pull the fuel out. It stinks. It stinks to high heaven. I like these motors. This is the Pulsar jet. And not the Pulse jet, it's a Pulsar jet carburetor. I'm over here in the shade, fellas, so the light isn't all that great. It's getting hot. It's getting real hot. I don't gotta tell you fellas about that. Some of you had it even worse. Yeah, see, the tines are going to be stuck, and we'll get a little closer look in a minute. I think I'm going to get out the pressure washer and clean all this off, and then it'll dry quick today. Don't you love this? Look, it's even got the anodize on it. I guess somebody bought a new one. Sometimes you get shocks from these. Put your foot on it. Let's pull the gas, right? And then we'll take a peek underneath in a minute. I think I'm going to put some two-stroke fuel in here, a little bit of two-stroke, about 10, 12, 20 ounces of two-stroke in it. Try to suck that in and see what it does. Oh, that's a good sign, fellas. Yeah. Oh, it's pretty clean too. Like my finger didn't disappear when I stuck it in there. Let me smell. The taste of it is pretty good. It's definitely got lubricity. Lubricity. So that's a good sign. We don't see any major leaks. You know, these things don't get used much. So, I mean, they do have a hard life when they are used. Just another peek down there. Like I said, I'll turn it on its butt in a bit. I wanted to check the oil before I did that. All right, now I'll pull the gas out. Yeah, it's like not sweet crude. Yeah, that's old, but there's no water. There was a little debris, and it got stuck in the tube, but I put an angle on the tube. That helps. I forgot to do that. I kind of just trimmed the tube recently, and this whole got a little clog. But it can't be all that bad because there's no water in this gas. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. Let me get another flashlight, but I can see muck. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to see it in there. There's too much, not enough contrast. Like I'm outside, so, but there's muck in there. Yeah, oh yeah. This is mostly high octane two-stroke, fresh, and with some gas. So it's 10 ounces, and then I mixed a little bit of regular gas in there as well. So it's like 3/4 two-stroke with 1/4 fresh gas. So let that drink in. We'll pull the plug and the air cleaner off next. Yeah, this ain't the right plug. Let's get the right plug. So she would burn a little rich. All right, so the history is that it was running, but it was losing power when you dumped the clutch and you put it into the dirt. So let's get the correct plug in there. Wow, fellas. Somebody showed a little bit of love. All right, we're going to spill some two-stroke in that. But first, we're going to put some of my magic sauce in there. All right, a little bit in here too, just to loosen things up. Throttle shaft. Everything looks good here, fellas. All right, that's my magic tranny sauce because it's dry. So, oh, nice. Yeah, let's give it some more love. We'll just make it smoke. Yeah, she's going good. Let's put a little bit on the starter too, because this is that with the balls and everything. Maybe some of that will go in where it needs to be. Maybe, probably. But let's check for spark. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it. It's set to fast, and it seems to be working, kinda. It seems to be. It's a plastic one, so that's why I say it's probably closer to 80's. But that might be the kill. I don't know. You know, there is no kill on the carburetor. The kill is up here, and also with the taller plug, we'll be better off. So let's see. I don't know. Let me get the plug. It's going to be hard to see. This is so old school. I love it. Yeah, I should see that. Yep. Oh yeah, beauteous spark. All right, let's bolt this in. We'll dump some two smoke. Yeah, let me put some two smoke in the hole as well. Because although the other stuff will kind of light, it's not going to light as good as this will. All right, let me tighten that up. We'll be right back, and we'll see if we can run it off of the two-stroke in this bottle. All right. You see a little bit of yuck over there. This is a little bit deteriorated. May have to replace it or just put heat shrink on it.
Tonight on the Curse of Woke Island, Anheuser-Busch is practically giving their beer away amidst declining sales. Could it be that people are sick of corporate woke agendas? And the world's largest brewing company is royally fucked?
All right, all set. Now usually when gas gets like that, it's going to gum everything. So that's what you might find. All right, we're going to set it to about mid-throttle.
Danny! Runs good! Yeah! Woo! Nothing happening down there.
Runs good. Wow, she runs good. All right, so she's basically garbage. I'm glad I didn't spend that much on it. I wonder if this would even fit on Mikey's mini bike. I don't know. That tank is huge. It is a good 5 horsepower. We could take it off and see, since I have it set up already. Let me pull the guard off. You'd have to make a bearing or a bushing. And by the way, that might be repairable. That might actually be a thing. So let's pull the cover off and see what's in there. Now here's the one I was thinking about selling, but of course now I can't, right? Because I still need one of these. But this is the one that you're getting a preview on. And I dug this one out just in case to take some pictures of it. So this one's going to be up on the channel real soon. Typical problems with the overhead valve engines on these 5 horsepowers. That's just what they do. They pull water in, and I'll show you all of that. Valves get stuck, things get damaged. But overall, I went over the whole thing. The only thing I don't like is I was able to get the outer tines free, but I cannot get anything else going. And you know, I threw out another one of these transmissions, which might have worked. But the axles were so damaged. So the outer tines come, and what I do is I left the pins out of the inner tines, and I lubricated them as much as I could. The thing is, if you heat them, you run the risk of burning out the seals on the end of that transmission. So you can't swap the tines, but you know what, I got them all sharp, everything is good, it worked really well, and I'm very happy with it. It's just not a particularly nice machine. It's the newest style machines. So let's see what happens. A couple of bolts, nice beefy cover. I don't know if some of the bolts are missing or not, but a couple of bolts hold it on. Now, one of the things you can check, and you can see here, look at it, look at this. This is just, oh, I think I caught it. Right, it was just wobbling like crazy. See? So when it comes out, it wobbles, but when you shove it in, now I think what happened is this should be turning that shaft, so something came apart and this bearing might be beat, and it could have damaged. There's a chain in here. Now another thing you can look at is this was a little stuck, but it should spin this, and these should spin, and I'll show you on the other machine too in a minute. So we see what's going on here. Let me get you in for a closer look. So here's a peek at this. So fortunately, all of this is all bolted together, so you could take it apart. MTD might have this part. There's a tag on the machine, but I can't read it. Now let me show you up here. See? And then when you shove it in, right, it's okay, but it probably either stripped the gear or maybe even lost the gear. Now the other thing I wanted to mention is that no, we can't use this on a mini bike because that shaft is not long enough, and there's just no way. All right, that's not going to work. All right, so it's a shorter shaft design, and there's no way we can, because this is just an example of a mini bike clutch. So what I'm going to do is a little bit later, we're going to pull this motor off. And I'm going to put it aside because it's a good motor. And that way, see, we could see here, here's the other side of that. So it might be restorable, and there's a tag down here. I'm going to have to bring this inside so I can read that tag. Or wait till it gets a little darker over here and get the magnifying glass out. And try to write that down. But we have something to work with. Yeah, like I said, I'll pull this motor and I'll put it in a shed or something. We don't want to leave it out. I'll have to store the biggest part of the machine out until like next year or so. But one of the problems is that you would never want to leave a machine like this, right, where you just didn't take care of it. When you're done using your machine, because they sit forever, you have to clean everything off and then get this all clean, get it deloused, and then lubricate in here and any of the the points that would require lubrication, because these are stuck, these pins are stuck, right, and they're supposed to be able to come off easy. There should be grease applied to the shaft, and it just isn't, and then stuff gets wrapped around. But it does look like it's in good shape, like it's not loose there. So if the people haven't completely borked it, then we'll be fine. So here's how I do mine. So this has all been cleaned off after I was done using it. And I'll put a little bit more oil in this while it's out here, and also put a little penetrant here. But this was filthy, of course. I just rinse it with the hose and clear any gack out of the way. And then I put a little oil on it, I let it drip a little bit, and then I shove it away. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually re-oil this now and go put it away because I need it. So I would have sold it, and maybe even to the people that gave me this thing. For 20 bucks, it's definitely worthy of a motor. I mean, we have a nice 5 horsepower motor, old school motor, that it didn't even blow smoke, fellas. I mean, you didn't even see, even with the 2-stroke in it. And by tossing it around a little bit, it'll, that 2-stroke is all over the tank. It's in the carburetor, it's in the engine. So I'm real comfortable with putting this away. I may give it a quick wash before, maybe with the pressure washer or something. Maybe we'll clean around here. We'll see. I don't know, it looks like it's going to rain, so I don't know what's going to happen. It's getting darker now, the sun went away, and it's just all like, overcast now, and it just feels pukey and humid. But there's a little bit of blue sky over there, but I have other things to do. Worst case is I'll put a bag over it or something. Look, here's my niece.
Oh,
see?
my.
And here's my daughter. Everybody always knows her.
And
look,
doggy.
there they are. And doggy. But
Subscribe, like, comment, and hit that bell to receive notifications.
say that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, say
I'm
that
not saying
again.
it again.
Well, he's playing with the ball. Aw.
He's like, wait, this is mine.
Yeah.
I got him a toy.
No, I want
doing?
to see some tinkering.
Well, what are you
I got
doing?
him a toy. Right?
All right, that engine has to be one of the smoothest running engines I have seen in a long time. And no smoke. All right, and that was with 2-stroke in it. Okay, because remember, I put some 2-stroke in there. So nice hot load, no smoke. Just wonderful. Now, I think that the actual rototiller itself, that mechanism, if MTD doesn't have those parts, the more I think of it, we'll find them somewhere else. I keep thinking of a place right now. Why can't I think of it? I'll write it in. McMaster-Carr. Okay, yeah. I'm wondering, because I bet you, see, another nice thing is the newer version that I showed, that whole gear assembly chain in there and everything, the transfer case, that's crimped together. On the old one, it's all bolted together. And something just tells me, like, maybe a nut fell off. I'm not saying it's true, but I wouldn't be surprised if something fell off the end of that shaft and fell down into the chain case, because there's probably a lot more room in that case, and it's laying at the bottom. So at some point in the future, I will take the rest of that thing apart and we'll go in there and we'll take a peek. Now, I already took the motor off, I washed it, gave it a good cleaning, started breaking it down. I ordered the kit for the carburetor, I got that in, and we're going to go over the soft kit on that. And I just want to clean the thing up. There was a lot of filth in there, okay? And put it on the shelf. Now, that shaft that's on that Briggs motor, it's too short for anything. It's a pulley shaft. I tried a few different things, and it won't even run a pump. The pumps that I like to use, remember now this is axial, okay, not vertical. So the pumps that I like, they require a longer shaft. So it can't run a pump. It can't run. I don't think it can run a mini bike. I'm telling you, it's that shaft is too short. Especially now that the pulley is off of it, and I was fooling around with it. I don't know why that is. They must have had a different variant, but it's designed to run something with a pulley, and so there's plenty of room on there for moving a pulley around, and shimming it and what have you. But it's not for anything else that might be cool and functional. However, it's a great motor, and what I really would like to do is see if I can fix the whole rototiller. So I'm in the process of cleaning it up. We're going to do another Will It Run, sort of just to show it cleaned up and running. Put some fresh oil in it, and put it on the shelf. I have a spot in my shed for it. And I want to make some more spots for cool project motors and just things that I want to keep nice. It's certainly worthy of keeping around. I can't wait to kind of noodle it with it, some more. I'm kind of busy right now, so I don't have the time to do that. But I will see you guys next time in this, probably the second episode, at least, on this, sometime in the near future, where I'll show putting it back together again with some freshy parts. We'll go over the carburetor, we'll get it all kind of cleaned up, throw a little paint on everything, and just bench run it one more time. I just want to hear that motor sing and know that I put it away clean. And there'll be something, if it's not this rototiller, which I'm kind of crossing my fingers because it's a nice rototiller. It's a nice machine to have, and I'll sell the other one. So I think that would be fun to go. We got to go in there. We got to go in there and take a peek at it. So now that the motor's off, it's going to kick around for a little while, and at some point I'll go inside and peek at it after I do the motor, because I got so many projects, fellas. I'll see you guys on the next episode of Archer's Garage.